So normally on MilTech, we talk a lot about current and future technology, soldiers, gear, and equipment and vehicles that they're going to use. But we had a chance to visit a place that has some old technology, a museum, that's still relevant to soldiers and being taught to them today. That's the U.S. Army Armor and Cavalry Collection. It's a collection of about 140 pieces of armor, related armor assets such as artillery, companion vehicles, and actual tanks. That's all housed at Fort Benning, Georgia now. Pieces of it used to be at Fort Knox, Kentucky until they moved armor training down to Fort Benning. It's an assorted collection. Of course, there's a lot of things from the U.S. military collection going back all the way to World War I, kind of thinly armored cars that basically scouted around the trenches in the battlefield. But also, brand new items, things that were just in service a few years ago in theater. And it's not just U.S. pieces. We actually have captured enemy vehicles, from Nazis in World War II and Japanese military pieces to Iraqi pieces from the first Gulf War in the early 1990s. And while this is an Army collection and predominantly has Army pieces, both our own Army and of course enemy Army, there's also a piece in there that was once part of the Army collection, was kind of rejected by service members at the time, but adopted by the Marine Corps. It's called the Ontos. It has multiple weapons systems on it. It was used heavily in Way City during Vietnam for urban fighting. In fact, many Marines after that battle say it pretty much saved the day. And it has a pretty interesting little 50 caliber targeting piece on it where it will shoot a single 50 caliber round that causes a flash that then the gunner at the time could use to time his rounds from his main guns. It was a pretty interesting little piece of armor, again, rejected by the Army because it didn't really work against European forces, but taken on by the Marine Corps. This is more than just a bunch of tanks sitting around for people to take pictures of. Soldiers actually use these to study old ways of using armor, old type of equipment, from communications to kind of rake-like devices on the front of the vehicles to sweep for mines, to the different types of small and medium caliber and large caliber type of cannons used to fire different types of munitions. Really, these are for students of armor to come view these, get around on them, see these in person in the flesh and not just in a book, and understand armor better. And while tanks definitely steal the show, there's some pretty cool little funky pieces that you can find within and wedged in between some of those tanks, from motorcycles to different types of 1 and 2 soldier type transports, everything from fully tracked vehicles to half track, tracks and wheels, to no tracks, basically wheeled vehicles with some semblance of armor to be used on the battlefield.